Hello, my name is Yasmina. Welcome to another episode of the Rewind Zone here on RUE MORGUE TV, the video format of my column that you can read on ruemorgue.com, where I love to discuss my favorite 80s horror movies that are never talked about, underrated, sometimes terribly cheesy, sometimes just fucking incredible movies that make me so mad that do not get the recognition that they deserve. And why, yes, we're discussing another vampire movie today. And that vampire movie is Sundown, The Vampire in Retreat, came out in 1989, and it was directed by Anthony Hickox, who also directed Hellraiser 3, one of the best ones, in my opinion, Waxwork 1 and 2, and the far superior Warlock 2, The Armageddon. R.I.P. Julian Sands. Western horror is a subgenre that I'm very fond of because I love the desert and I love horror movies, and you combine them, you get Western horror. Some notable films are John Carpenter's Vampires, From Dusk Till Dawn, Near Dark, a Rewind Zone column that was written about Ghost Town. You should definitely watch that one. Sundown is a movie about these vampires that figured out how to synthesize blood with a plant substitute. They live in a secluded town called Purgatory. They are able to be in sunlight with a shit ton of sunblock and large straw hats, umbrellas, and they're very comfortable living in their little town so that they don't have to feed on humans. So I know exactly what you're thinking. True Blood totally ripped off Sundown. It's the same plot.
A vampire came into the bar.
You know how many people are having sex with vampires these days?
You would be surprised, people you know.
Sometimes those people disappear.
Of course, with any movie, the opening scene and the end scene are the greatest. So the opening scene of Sundown is a man driving a Jeep in the desert, snorting a lot of cocaine.
Yeah. That's the guy that's gonna save Purgatory.
Getting it all over the place. Like, that shit's expensive, bro. And he pulls up to a gas station where these three old men wearing straw hats, overalls, flannel shirts, huge sunglasses are sitting on a bench, and he's like, give me some fucking gas, blah, blah, blah. He's being very obnoxious.
What is the big deal? Get the lead out of your ass and sell me some gas.
Boy, I hope that isn't him.
And one of the old men is like, be cool. Don't want to attract attention to Purgatory. But the coke fiend is just being ludicrous. And so naturally, they chop his head off.
Looks like Mort struck oil.
The main protagonist of Sundown is a father named David, who is a scientist, and him and his wife are going to Purgatory with their two young daughters so he could help with the plant substitute. They are about to meet Shane, who went to grad school with David because Shane designed the plant, but there's some drama there because Shane and the wife used to bang. Probably one of the most important aspects of this film is Shane is motherfucking Rex Manning from Empire Records.
Hey, what's your name?
Kathy. Kathy.
Okay.
You know, I've seen every episode of The Family Life.
Oh, yeah?
And you were my favorite singer in high school.
Who's your favorite singer now?
You! It's still you.
Bye.
And he is quite delicious in this movie. You even see him naked in one scene right before he turns into a claymation talking bat. So there's a lot of characters in this movie, but there's one character that's useless, but I'm okay with it because it's played by Dana Ashbrook, who is one of the sexiest boys in Twin Peaks, Bobby Briggs. Yowza!
Amen!
What are you looking at?
Bobby Briggs and his girlfriend, they watch their coke-addicted friend get their head chopped off.
Temper tantrum.
Yeah, Mark's always had a short fuse.
Short fuse.
He murdered our friend.
He was an asshole.
That's pretty much like where the plot for these characters goes. They spend most of the movie in jail. At one point, the parents, they are away probably fucking or something in the hills, and the two little girls are back at the hotel bored, and they find a secret door, which is a passageway into this creepy dungeon. And they're like, let's go exploring in this haunted place. I was definitely not that adventurous when I was a young girl, but kudos to them. So they go down these stairs and they're like, holy shit, it's a coffin. Let's open it up. They open it up and boom, we are introduced to Count Mardulac.
I am Joseph Mardulac, Mrs. Harrison. I own Purgatory.
Played by David Carradine. I'm gonna let the YouTube commenters handle the jokes here. So then Bruce Campbell fucking shows up. He rolls into town and he is a descendant of Van Helsing and he is tracing Count Mardulac. So he stops at this diner and the waitress is played by Deborah Foreman from April Fool's Day. And she's very smitten with Bruce. I mean, how could you not be? So she misses being a human and she decides to help him out. So they go on a little adventure together and they're very adorable together. I love Bruce Campbell. He's so cute. There are so many actors in this movie. It's very shocking that it slipped under the radar. No one ever talks about this movie, and one of the best actors in the history of film also is in this movie. That's right, George Buck Flower!
But first, these commercial words.
Come on, somebody make a fucking documentary about this man! While the main vampires, they want to coexist with humans, there's also another group of evil vampires that are like, fuck that shit. Like, we want to eat people.
Death to Mardulac and his traitors!
So then there's this battle between good and bad vampires, and it's pretty epic. Rex Manning is leading the evil posse to attack the good vampires. This is the Western part of the Western horror because they're on horses with lots of guns. At least the bullets are made with fortified wood, so there's that. And it's time to bust out the chainsaws and the crossbows and the machine guns, of course. Thank you for joining me on this episode of The Rewind Zone here on RUE MORGUE TV, where we discussed a fabulous movie that no one ever discusses. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, let me know what other dogs you want me to kiss on the camera. And don't forget, be kind, rewind, or else Rex Manning is going to show up in your bedroom with the giant boner.
Well, I couldn't get you when I was human. You still wanted that half-baked wiener, David. But now there's nothing you can do to stop me.
Right? Yeah, boners are fun, yeah. Thanks, guys. Bye.